get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Keeping It Real with Najeh Wilkins. I'm your host. Happy Friday Eve to everybody. Excited, got another jam-packed show today. We're going to start with Kell running back coach Jonathan Dwyer. As you guys all know, NFL veteran, played 5 years in the league, went to Georgia Tech, went to Kell when it first opened up, did big things there, ended up winning several very, very big awards and accolades. So we're going to talk to him in just a few moments. Also going to talk about On Threes and also 247 Sports latest rankings that just dropped. So I'm going to be reacting to those, some 5 stars, all that good stuff. So let's talk about that. We'll talk about some hoops. Going to preview a couple matchups, and then got a couple tail of the tapes on deck for today. Milton Lauofo from Harris County, and then also Andre Benjamin of Wilkins County. So can't wait to break those down and conclude with my top 10 headlines for the weekend. But without further ado, let's welcome on running back coach from Kell, Jonathan Dwyer. Hey, Coach, what's going on?
Hey, man, how you doing? Thanks for the opportunity.
Of course, man. Of course. I'm excited to have you on. We've talked a couple times outside on the field. You know, I've seen you at games, also seen you at a couple different venues. So excited to have you on, just learn a little bit from you. I know you've had an illustrious career as well.
Yeah, I did pretty well. I did okay.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, I want to ask you, how cool was it to kind of come back to your alma mater where it all started for you at Kell and be able to kind of, pour into this youth and be able to kind of show them the different things that you learned while you were back being at Kell?
I think at first it was kind of a adjustment just because of, it's kind of like, hindsight 20 catch 22, being back there, like, the deja vu feelings of, all the memories and things like that and everything. But this is just my opportunity of giving back to my community. I wish that I would have had someone who's that would coach me on a continuous basis that has been where I'm trying to get to, and so I get the inside scoop of how things really are and the raw and the real about how things are the next levels, and so that I would wish I was more prepared in that sense. But I'm just glad to be a part of the Longhorn community and be back home.
No doubt. And what were some of those lessons that you learned, being, where you were able to make it at, that you were telling these guys that you were able to achieve, that you kind of tell them, like, hey, this is what you need to do. You need to X this out, add this part to your game. What are some things you've been teaching them?
Really just constructive criticism. A coach, if a coach is never constantly talking to you or talking, constantly on you, that means that, in a way, he sees something special in you, and he's trying to continuously get more and more out of you and help develop you in a faster pace standpoint, so you're ready for the next level. So once you get there, you know what it takes to get there. And nothing's, you're not going to walk in there with like a deer in headlights and not know what's going on.
No doubt about it. Now, I know you got some studs at the running back position at Kell, similar to what you were able to do. You got Tariq Green and Kentaris Mooney Gibson. Tell me just a little bit about them. What makes each one of those guys uniquely special?
First, I'll talk about Boog, which everybody knows is Tariq. He can do it all, man. I mean, he's a special, gifted kid. Doesn't really talk a lot, but when he does talk, kids listen. He lets us play, do the talking for him. When he gets the ball in his hands, you kind of have to stand at the edge of your seat just because he can break a long one anytime, and he can be effective in all different phases. He's an every down back. He can pass block. He can run routes like a receiver. He can catch the ball. He can run inside, run outside. He's a total package, and I think and he can play on defense as well. I mean, in my opinion, not to be biased, but there's no reason why by the time he's senior, he's not one of the top 5 athletes in the country. In my opinion, he's gifted and he's special. And now you go to the young guy, Mooney. Mooney's special from a sense of, his vision is probably the best vision I've ever seen from a young guy. His ability to see the flow of the defense, find cutback lanes, find alleys, and his patience at the line of scrimmage once he gets the ball is very special. And some of the things, that's sort of the situation where as a running back, you can't really teach it. It's very natural. He's very raw. Still, he has a lot of growth, and he's going to continue to grow. I know he wants to be pushing every day, and that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what our staff is trying to do to keep him from being complacent, consistently working and doing the best that he can.
No doubt about it, Coach. And then, how cool is it to, as a coach, to kind of have multiple guys that you could depend on? I mean, both of those guys are studs in their own right, but you got a multifaceted kind of running back room instead of just one bell cow. You got 2 guys you can go in every single night and get them the football, and they're going to do their thing with it. How cool is that, being able to coach guys like that?
It takes a lot of pressure off you, that's for sure. But honestly, I mean, it's a blessing because, these type of kids don't come along, every so often. So I'm very blessed to coach them, and I hope they feel the same way, being coached by me and Coach Booker. And just, continuously learn each and every week and every day that we have an opportunity to play. But the biggest thing is, that I trust them. Now, that's the reason why they play. That's the reason why, if Coach May's rule is simple. If he can trust you, it doesn't matter what grade you are, we're gonna play you. So Quinterius earned that trust last year, and Boog earned that trust the year before, so he was able to get touches as a freshman. So that's just was going to continue. The more and more they learn, the more and more I trust them, the more opportunities they're going to get.
No doubt. And then you put me on game with those 2, Tyreek Green, and also you put me on game with Quinterius Gibson. Now I want to ask, coming up after them, I know they're going to take a lot of the bell cow with Green going to be a junior, and then Mooney going to be a sophomore next year. But who are some guys coming up that we should also watch out for, Coach? Whether that's on the freshman team, JV team, or even coming in as a rising freshman, who's some guys we should watch for Kell, maybe in the years to come, not necessarily next year, but years to come?
I can't remember names, so I don't want to butcher anybody's names, but we got an 8th grader coming in that's pretty talented as well. He's in the feeder program. I'm excited for him to get here. I've seen him work out in the mornings and the workouts and stuff here and there from the middle school, and his name is Antonio Williams. So I'm excited to see him. Hopefully, he can earn the trust of his teammates and the trust of the staff, and opportunities and same chances as well.
No doubt about it, Coach. And then, I wanted to ask you, being a running backs coach, if you can share without, sharing too much detail, but just tell us, what does that kind of consist of for you? What is on a day-to-day coming in being a running backs coach? What are some things you have to kind of make sure you check off every single day when you come into work?
Obviously, the thing is ball security. That's number 1. And number 2 is protecting the quarterback. Our job is as a running back, a lot of, you're in a way like a baseball player. You're the utility guy. You got to be able to do it all. You got to be able to catch the ball, run block as well, in situations like that. So each and every day we try to chop things that we need to work on, continue to fine point the things that we are good at. And, if there's some things that, me and Coach Todd said that, it tells me and Coach Booker that we need to work on, we emphasize that in practice each and every day during an individual. There's never an opportunity that where we're not working. So it's just basically each and every day chopping and getting better in each and everything of our craft and continue to build our bag up as much as we can.
No doubt, Coach. And then is there a specific thing you need, Coach, to be a good run blocker? If you can explain, I mean, like I said, you've played it at a high level. Is it an effort thing? Is that something you have to continuously work at? Because you see some guys naturally have it, and some guys have to work towards it, become better and better. What's kind of, talk about the art of that, being able to block for the quarterback at a good level?
Really, it's about effort. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. If are you willing to? That's at every position, from offensive line to receiver, tight ends, all those guys. You know, are you willing to put your face in the fan and protect your brother, your quarterback, in that sense? And really, from there, it's just about footwork. You know, taking on a half a man, take care of protect the inside, block with your feet, not really with your hands. Let your feet do the blocking for you. Then strike, and then keep. It's basically mirroring the blitzing backer or whoever it is.
No doubt, Coach. And then being a run game coordinator, Coach, is that also, like, are you kind of in the room with Coach May or the offensive coordinator kind of coming up with different schemes and plays that kind of fits the running game the best? Like, being a run game coordinator, what does that kind of consist of as well?
I'm just, basically like the right-hand man to extend to the coordinator and to Coach May. I'm just there to, advise run plays we want to do each and every week. What formations that we come together, figure out what formation out of, and pretty much just have an extension of the run game and the pass game as well. To always be there whenever coach is looking for a play or in his ear, hey, go back to this, and pretty much just be there when he needs me.
No doubt. Now I want to ask you an opinion question, Coach. You guys had a really strong season last year, 9-2. Really good from the running back room. What can we kind of expect from this team next year? How special do you think it could be with those two studs coming back at running back and some of your skill positions as well?
My opinion is it's up to those kids. We're gonna lead as much as we can, but it's up to the players. Elite teams have leadership within the locker room. That's what I firmly believe, and what I've always been taught is all of my best teams I've ever played on. It was from a leadership from the locker room on. Coaches lead, usually your average teams, but elite programs have elite leadership from the players. So it's up to them. We're going to challenge them each and every day, but they have to lead themselves more so than anything.
No doubt. Now I gotta ask, you're an elite player. Like, were you also elite in the locker room, or you kind of just led by example?
It depends. I've been a little bit of both. Depends on situations where I've been at. In high school, I was more of a vocal guy. In college, we had a bunch of leaders from myself and Josh Nesbitt and Morgan Burnett and Demarius Thomas. Rest in peace. So it was a little bit of both at that level, and then at the next level, it was more so I just try to lead my room, try to lead the running back room as much as I possibly could. We had a veteran team in Pittsburgh, so we had enough leaders to run around there.
No doubt about it. And then I want to ask, Coach, how does the kind of spring schedule look now? I mean, we're in March now. A lot of teams are having a spring game. What does that look like for Kell this year? You guys having a spring game? If you do, when does it kind of start? When do you guys start kind of just practice or even weight training?
Well, we've been lifting shoots ever since we got back from holiday break. Guys have been getting after it. In first period, they have it in the morning. They've been doing some stuff by themselves as well as they're training after school. Quarterbacks getting up with receivers and et cetera. And so far, we're just going through different phases of what we're going through right now. Right now, the phases are working out, getting on the board, meetings in Stanford, and then pretty much going on the field, doing working out, like running, sprinting, jumping, those things like that, and then just getting us ready for the spring, which is starts off in May, and we have a spring game against at the end.
Got you. Okay, so it'll be in May. Okay, and then I'm guessing spring practice will be maybe late April, late April.
Pretty much the beginning of May we start spring practice.
Got you. Beginning. Okay. Got you, Coach. Yeah, because I know it's usually towards the end of the season. Okay, got you, Coach. Now I want to ask you this. Like I said, you were a great running back, obviously on all levels. But in your eyes, what do you think makes an elite running back? Like what kind of differentiates you kind of from the rest?
I think in general, it's just about having your own unique style, whatever that case may be. Everybody's different. I mean, if you look around the league, there's guys that can do this better than others, and they're all talented in different ways. But if you're a guy who can be there on all three downs, that makes you elite. You talk about in NFL, you talk about C-Mac from the jump. Offensive Player of the Year, which hasn't happened in a while. He's the guy that come off the field. He can play every down. He can do anything that you want him to do. Then you have other guys such as the Joe Mixons, and you have others such as Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get in that conversation at some point. Nick Chubb when he's healthy, and
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry obviously, and Saquon. When Saquon's healthy, Saquon's probably the most talented back in the league, hands down. But so those are the type of guys that make, for the standpoint of when you hear elite, they can do everything from passing, pass blocking, run blocking, catching the ball, playing in the slot, obviously running the ball at an elite level and make people miss, run you over, all those type of things.
No doubt about it. And I got to ask you the hot button topic question because, you're a running back. Why do you think the position is so devalued in the NFL? You just mentioned a bunch of those guys. A lot of those guys are going to be free agents, right? Why do you think it is devalued currently in the NFL when guys can do practically everything?
Probably because they feel like, they can put anybody there to do. They think that the running back position is expendable, which, I don't agree with. Not just because I push, but in general because no matter at any level, I mean, you can win all the games you want passing the ball throughout the season. When it gets down to the nitty-gritty, I mean, even if you look at the high school level all the way to the pros, whoever's the team that can run the ball the best, in some sort of way, they're going to get to that promised land, which is a championship or a Super Bowl, and et cetera. And whoever wins the line of scrimmage more so in those big games, running the ball, is going to end up winning the whole thing. So I think that it's sad that they devalue the running back position, but at the end of the day, it's almost like that person you don't want to depend on, but at the end of the day, you need them at the end of the day.
It's very true, Coach. And in your honest opinion, do you think there's a remedy to it at all? Like something that can kind of, change it around, maybe change around the rationale or the thinking towards the running back position?
I mean, people have tried different things of, coming together and let's hold out. But, it's going to take probably the guy, like, for instance, the guy right now who's only getting paid probably the most is probably C-Mac. His continuous. I mean, Derrick Henry's a guy too. But I think probably the biggest thing is them just consistently staying healthy. Well, and then if you have opportunity, if you're a draft, like guys who are getting drafted in April, if you ball out those first 2-3 years of your rookie, try to re-up as fast as possible to get that second contract quick and while you're young, things like that. So those are probably the only good things that you could possibly do for right now.
No doubt, Coach. And then, like I said, speaking with the talent you got in the running back room, do you tell anything to them just as far as, like about the running back position, as far as, like, where it's at right now? Like, hey, you got to be, aware of this, especially with, like you said, the devaluation of it. Do you have those conversations with, Mooney Gibson and Tariq Green about it?
To an extent, really for right now, I just want them to really just enjoy, having fun with it. I mean, if they ask me, I give them the real just because, I'm not going to lie to them. But at the same time, like that life is far now. Right now, it's just really just about joining high school, and I tell them all the time, like, at each level, each level is a business from here on out. So the main thing really right now is just enjoy these time that you have where they sit in very, like it is your first love first person you ever loved was, pretty much a sport without your parents. So enjoy it as much as you can. Enjoy the innocence of the game as much as you can before you get to that next level when it's real and it turns into a legit, 9-to-5 type.
Very true, Coach. And then I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on just, I know it's a very, very low percentage, 0.00001, but what's your thoughts on this NIL coming to the high school level here in Georgia and potentially having some of the, the star players and some of the top echelon guys kind of being able to benefit from it?
I mean, I think it's good to a certain extent. I just think that, people have to be honest and real with themselves. Um, you have to, and you have to, broadcast yourself. You have to sell yourself, whether it's on social media, whether it's on different forums, things like, obviously, even things like this, um, and, showing the people who you are as who you are on the field. And, obviously the big name guys are going to benefit a little bit more, like the Juju's and, the Sammy Brown and, KJ Bolden, guys like that benefited a lot from last year. So, hopefully just, meet the right people. And that can help you along the way as well, too.
No doubt about it, Coach. And then, I want to ask just a little bit about, from your career. I know you got a favorite one, but what was your favorite just highlight or just touchdown that you had over the course of your career? It could be prep, it could be college. What was your favorite one?
Obviously, I'm gonna this piss some people off, but don't really care. My touchdown against UGA when we were playing against UGA. That's when to start the comeback we had in the second half to beat Matt Stafford and them down in between the hedges. So that's probably the biggest one for sure.
Gotcha, Coach. And I got to ask you about the college game. I'm going to ask you about your alma mater in a second, but do you like where the college game is kind of going? I mean, this year you got so many changes, Coach. You got the 12-team playoff, the conference realignment, the NCAA games coming out. Got so many changes. Just what's your thoughts on that? Do you like where the game's going?
The way the college game is. I mean, it's different from obviously when I played, just because of the whole NIL thing. But it's I feel like it's a little bit above me to really say how this thing should go. But hopefully it doesn't get too out of control from that sense. But I mean, the game is still as pure as it is from a standpoint of the fan bases and things like that. So if that doesn't change, I think college football game will be okay.
Gotcha, Coach. And then, I got to ask you, just what do you think about the rise of your alma mater? The past couple of seasons. Last year had a really strong season, 7-6. Got a lot of talent coming back. Running back position was very good from Jamal Haynes. Just what do you think about your alma mater and the direction they're going?
I mean, I probably this will be the happiest a lot of us have been in a long time going into a season as Yellow Jacket fans. So I'm excited. Hopefully, Coach Key continues to, mold this program into a physical program like he wants, tough mentality and, big plays and things like that. So we got, like I said, we got Haynes King coming back and Jamal's, balling, probably one of the biggest big-time running backs coming back in the ACC. So I'm excited for, the group. Coach McKenzie's doing a good job now with the RBs, and I'm excited to see what they do this upcoming fall.
No doubt about it. Well, Coach, I got a couple more. I'll let you go. I'm going to throw it back to Kell. I want to ask you about the offensive line this year. I know you're a running backs coach, but how does that look? I know that coordinates, obviously, with the running backs because if it don't get blocked up, that doesn't help your running back. So I just want to ask, how does that position look this year? And how excited you are to kind of work with them as well?
We got two great offensive line coaches from Coach Pack and Coach Tyner. They do a great job of coexisting with each other, working together. The guys last year were probably, very, even though they're undersized, very physical group, tough-minded, high IQ from that standpoint. So we have a lot of guys coming back, and we have some guys coming back that playing experience will have opportunity to be starters. So I'm excited for the group. I think the biggest thing, they know who we have as a talent standpoint, so they take a lot of pride in making sure that they open these holes up for the guys that we have, on the perimeter and in the backfield as well.
No doubt, Coach. And then what do you think were some of the lessons your team took from last year that really kind of helped motivate them? You talked about them getting there early, putting that work in now in the weight training, trying to max out, trying to be on the board. But what are some lessons you think they took from last year, even though it was a good year, finished a little short in the playoffs, that they took from last year they can kind of apply this year and go even further?
Finish. That's probably the biggest thing. Finish everything that we do. And that's probably the biggest thing, man. I mean, these guys now are, not taking anything for granted. They're finishing everything they do from the last rep to the weight room to the last sprint that they do. They're constantly competing in every little thing that they do, whether it's getting to, back into the facility first or getting on the field first. It doesn't really matter. They're always competing and trying to, do the best they can each and every day in the weight room and on the field.
No doubt. And then last one on Kell. Who are some prospects in your eyes? It could be any position. I'm gonna throw this out to you that we should watch for upcoming season in 2024. Could be DB, receiver, whatever you want to throw out. What prospects should we know from Kell and watch out for this season?
Obviously, we talked about the two-headed monster that we got. I would say Zade Rogan, a kid that can play anywhere in the secondary. Very technique oriented. Probably was our best pure cover guy last year. He's not scared of anybody, how tall you are, or how big you are. He's very competitive. On the defensive side, we have him. Offensively, we have some young receivers who, are excited for more of a role and bigger opportunities this year, such as Jaden George, Braden Rouse, Landon Mays, Luca Finelli, and we got David Torres coming back from the offensive line who had a really good year. So I'm excited for these guys and excited for the opportunity for them. And Mikey Dominic as well. Mikey Dominic's a guy as well. He's a sideline to sideline linebacker who's physical and enjoys hitting people. So I'm excited for these guys to see what they do in the spring.
No doubt, Coach. And then final question, two-sided question. I got to ask you, what was your favorite movie you ever pulled off in the game? And then as a side to that, what was your favorite level you ever played on? Was it prep career? Was it college at Georgia Tech? Was it NFL at Pittsburgh? Or was it even before that youth football?
Probably college, to answer that question first. College is probably because no matter if you go to the pros, there's no environment like college football. It's just what it is. There's no other environment like college football. Just because the basis, how much they care about, more so the pageantry of it, knowing that one losing game could alter your whole season. Whereas the NFL, there's so many games and, you can get, as long as you get hot at the right time, you're good. But college, you play non-conference games where you got to come out ready to play from the jump. So I think that's probably the biggest, probably college for sure. And best move I ever put in a game, dang, a lot of football. Probably in high school, I reversed field a bunch of stuff. I went one way and went back the other, things like that. So did that a few times.
Got you, Coach. Well, I want to say appreciate you so much for just taking the time to come on the platform, Coach, and talk a little bit about Kell football, talk about your awesome running backs. I'm obviously stay in contact with you just so I know what's going on with Kell. But appreciate you, Coach. Your inspiration to kind of see what you're doing with these kids and being, a really great role model for them and also in the community. So appreciate you, Coach.
Oh, man, thanks for the opportunity, man. You keep doing your thing as well. And, anytime you want to come to
I got you, Coach. Definitely will do that.
All right.
So there goes Coach Jonathan Dwyer from Kell, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Appreciate him coming on. Just want to highlight the group. They got a bunch of great, prospects coming up. Some slept-on receivers, as he mentioned, Jaden George, Braylon Rouse, and then that two-headed monster they're going to have next year is going to be something special. So can't wait to watch, see how it turns out for them. Going to be interesting to see that Kell program had a really good season last year, 9-2, and now, to me, it doesn't get much better than that. You got a guy that played at Georgia Tech, played at a high level, got drafted to the NFL, played for the Pittsburgh Steelers for 5 years, and then, you're Tariq Green, you're Kentarius Mooney Gibson, and you get to get coached by him, somebody that was on that level and can tell you all the ins and outs of how you can eventually get there. That's great. You love to see things like that. So that's why I wanted to bring him on. But we're going to take a quick short break, thank our sponsors, and be back on the other side.
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
All right, guys. So we are back on the other side of the break. So we're going to talk about two guys while Craig is pulling it up. Tell the tape, Milton Lauofo of Harris County. Made first team all-region this past year. All-state honorable mention. Benches 315, squats 510, cleans 245, and had over 60 pancakes in 2023. So had some really, really impressive film. We're going to look at him first, and then next will be basketball with Wilkins County point guard Andre Benjamin. So can't wait to look at that. But without further ado, Craig is pulling it up. Boom. All right, so here we go. Plays guard. You can see right here he's going to be pulling. Great job right there finishing the block. Boom, right there. He's against number 39. Good job finishing. So just watch number 56. Boom. Good job here pulling. Finishing all the way to the ground right there. This one is my favorite play. Did an instant replay here, but just look at him finish this block. So here's the instant replay. Slow it down for you. So as you can see, from the guard spot, he's going to pull around. They use him a lot in that kind of a way to create the holes. So boom, there it is. He has to find the guy on the edge. Boom, there he goes right there. Finds him on the edge. Finishes the block completely. Great job right there pulling again. And here he is again pulling. Big time hole right there. You let your running back do his thing in the open field yet again. So you're going to see a lot of that in this highlight tape. Right here, boom, getting to the second level defense. Absolutely mauling the defender all the way to the ground. Love it. And then right there in the middle, you see the hole he creates. Big time hole yet again. There he is at the guard. Boom, look at him take on that defender. Number 52 right there. Push him all the way to the ground. Great blocking yet again. And then boom, there he is right there. Right in the middle of the field, creating that lane for number 9 to run through yet again. Here he is. Big guy, 53 right there. Doesn't matter. Look at him finish the block. Tosses him to the ground yet again. And there he's right there, just completely annihilating the defender out of the play. Boom, right here, love this. So just how he's driving, I'm actually have Craig go back to that one if you don't mind. But look at him right here, 56. So good feet right there, looking to reposition his hands. He's up high, but looking to reposition and finish this block completely. Boom. You see how he reshaped his hands right there and then pushed them all the way through? Love that. And then same thing right here, just 1-2, completely annihilates the defender out of the play yet again. Same thing right here. I mean, he's a great finisher on his blocks. And here you're going to get a QB keeper. Look at him right here. Set up the hole where the QB can run through. So, boom. So, right here, you're going to see him. Look at him go with the double team block. Boom, right there. Good job holding him up. Tosses him, throws him to the ground yet again. That opens up the big hole for his quarterback to run through. Absolutely love that. And then, boom, here he is right here. Another big-time finish on the block. He's pulling around. So, you see the athleticism, which is another part of his game I really like. So, here he is right here. Boom. Good job taking on the defender there. Opening up the hole. Leads to a 15, 20-plus yard gain. Boom, here he is right here. Throws him out the way. Now, that's my favorite. I'm going to have you actually go back to that one, Craig. So, right here. So, love this part. So, this is where his game really stands out to me. So, he's going to get the first defender, blocks him, gets to the second level, throws him out of the way, and then he's running. So, love that. That shows the athleticism that he possesses. So, here it is right here. Boom, throws him, gets to the second level. As Craig pauses right there, throws him out the way. I mean, that's excellent on the screenplay. That's what you want to see. And the same thing here, just finishing the block yet again. 1-2, good feet right there. Get to the second level. I mean, again, one of my favorite plays. So watch this. Pause it for me, Craig. So does a good job right here. It's going to be a double team block initially. He gets him, dumps him to the right, and then look at him get to the second level to the linebacker that's coming downhill. Boom. So if the running back, I'm going to have you go back too, Craig, because that could have been a touchdown. Now, peep this. So this hole is going to open up, as you guys can see right here. 43 runs right through the middle where Milton was able to go. Boom, right here. Pause it, Craig. If he goes up the middle and follows him, he's going to be one-on-one with the safety right there. So he does a great job of getting him out the way. The running back goes to the right where there's another defender waiting for him. If he goes up the middle where Milton actually blocked, that's a touchdown. He's one-on-one. Thank you, Craig. So, great job right there. That's a big hole. Yet again, good job by Milton right there. Finishing that. Here he is pulling. Getting to the outside of the defender. Completely annihilates him out the play. As you can see, leads to a touchdown. Great block yet again. Here he is pulling. Going up against the DN. Too small. Completely throws him out the way. Big time 7, 8, 9 yard gain. Same thing right here. I'm going to have you go back to that one, Craig. Look at this hole he opens up yet again. Let's see. All right. Boom. Yep. Right there. Boom, here he comes. Boom. So as you can see, look at the big hole. Daylight. Great job right there with the block. Opens it up for number 6 to run through. Big time gain yet again. Then here he is pulling. Look at to that second level of the defense. Absolutely love that. And then good job. Here he is pulling again. Look at him completely finish him out of the play. Great hands, great movement, very athletic. Same thing. Look at the big hole yet again. Boom. 1-2. Look at this. All the way to the ground. Love it. Good feet. 1-2. Look at him. He's still driving 58. Look, completely out of the play. Boom. Right there, you're going to see a nice pull. Leads into a score yet again. So, I mean, very, very talented. Right here, boom. Throws the defender back. Look at 91 trying to get there. He's all on him. So once he engages, you know, it's really tough for the defender to get him off. Right there, a little bit of speed, doesn't matter. He's still able to, you know, move him out of the way and have a big-time block. And then right here, you're going to see the pass. So a lot through this film, you're going to see him do a lot of run blocking. Right there on that last one, you see him be able to pass protect as well for his quarterback and be able to throw it deep. So that is phenomenal. My standouts for him, I feel like once he locks in on you and he engages, it's hard really to get him off of you. I think he's great at finishing blocks. He's good at opening lanes in the running game where running backs can run, you know, right through it. Love that part of his game as well. And then I think he has really good athleticism. As you see in the huddle tape, he's used frequently as a pull blocker, just kind of coming around, creating that hole. If it wasn't good, the offense wouldn't use him in that way to create those holes for those running backs, those receivers, those reverses, and all that good stuff. So does a really good job of that. And I really like his game. Like I said, made first team all-region, all-state honorable mention, and also had 60-plus pancakes in 2023. So I think the future is bright. You've seen it on that tape. That's my thoughts on it. Really like what he's able to do and kind of possess. Now we got one more. We're going to go to the hoops side. As you know, hoops is about to wrap up for us. But I wanted to talk about Wilkins County point guard Andre Benjamin. Only averaged 6.4 points, but I think he has a bright future. Really good scorer for them. A great shooter. You're going to see here on this highlight tape. All right, so this one right here, I did an instant replay because I want you to see the shimmy move he does. So as you can see right here, boom. So look at him pivot. I'm going to have you go back so I can break that down a little bit more, Craig. So pause it right there. So goes with his left hand. He's going to fool the defender like he's going to do a turnaround J. Shimmies. See the shimmy right there? Like he's going to turn around right there. Gets the defender. Goes the other way. Great job. Great play right there. Fooling the defender. Easy money bucket in the mid-range right there. And then boom, right there you see in the range. Look how far he pulls up from. Wide open. Easy bucket. And then right here, look him set his feet. Big time shot right there on the outside, on the perimeter. Right here. Love this pass. Fold it down. I'll have Craig go back so I can break it down. So a lot of times you don't see a lot of people, especially with analytics now, they don't like the mid-range shot. But look at him right here. Look at his feet set. Right there, pause it for me. And look at him bait the defender. So look, he's going to set his feet, bait the defender. Boom, let me get to a sweet spot right here. Boom, I'm going to pull up from the mid-range. Nice looking jump shot. Rattles in eventually at the end. Love that part right there. Didn't settle for the three. Got to a spot. Knocks it down. And boom, right here. I mean, look how deep he is from the three-point line. It's at least a good 3 feet. So, pause. Instant replay that. Again, look where he's coming up from. So, the defender falls down. Going to get to a spot. Look how far away from three-point line he is. With confidence. Strokes it. Nice swish. Jump shot right there. Right here. Boom. Little pivot. Boom. I'm going to play with my food. Easy money shot right there. Now here you might ask, okay, can he finish around the rim? Right there. Through contact and one bucket right there around the rim. You see in the range yet again. Look how far he's sparking it from. He's not up on the three-point line. Way back. And then right here you're going to see a nice corner shot. Boom. Set his feet. It's too open. Can't leave shooters open. As you see right there. Nice three-point shot. Right here yet again. Look him set his feet. Look where he's pulling from. That is very, very deep. Another swish. I mean, you love to see that right there. Same thing right there. Gets the left arc. Easy money tray right there. Boom. And as you guys can see, there's no hesitation to his game. As soon as he catches it, he's shooting. Good catch and shoot shooter. Same thing right there. Set his feet. Good form. Same thing. Quick shot. Quick release. Defense can't adjust. Can't block it. It's too quick. Same thing. Left corner. Too quick. Gets it off. Right here, you're just going to be a still play right there. Here he's right here. Contested. Doesn't matter. Nice switch at the back corner. Right here, wide open. Nice switch three. Yet again. Right here, set his feet. It's a good-looking jump shot coming out. Boom, deep three. Look, I mean, you can see. I'm gonna have Craig go back real quick. Look where he's pulling it from. Right there. Pause it for me. Again, that's nowhere near the 3-point line. Look how far back he is. So that's a zone, as you guys can see. So see the zone. See how the defense is adjusting. Doesn't matter. Pulls it up. I can shoot it. Easy money switch yet again. Boom. Here he does a good job curling off. A little back screen right there. Getting to his spot. Shooting a 3-point shot. And here you can see a little bit of the handle. Behind the back. Get to his spot. With the screen. Easy money shot yet again. And boom right here. Just set his feet. Shoot. I mean, you love that. I mean, college coaches on the next level are going to love that for him. Just somebody you can get to in the corner. Set his feet. Shoot. Same thing. Good form. 1-2. Not bringing the ball down. Shooting it and scoring it. Right here. Boom. Look at that turnaround move. Completely fools the defender right there. Big time layup yet again. Then boom, here's right here. Fools the defender with a nice upstake move. 4-3. Right here. Deep range three. 2 guys on him. Doesn't matter. So that's his film. Love it. You see him shooting a lot of threes, but shoots it very efficiently. 6.4 points last year. I expected it to be well over double figures next year. Had a lot of had a senior and I think a sophomore on the team. That was their leading scorers. But I like the way he could spread the floor. Deep range threes, you know, and like I said, you teach somebody how to shoot, but a lot of guys do not have that in the arsenal to be able to pull that deep. I think he's great at catch and shoot. So, you know, if you get in a bind, you know what I'm saying, offensively, throw him the ball, he's going to catch it, and he's shooting it up. So, love that. Didn't see a lot of defending on that one. He did have a steal, but I think he's a good, willing defender as well. But I like how he can spread the floor for Wilkins County. I think he has a bright future and love the way he can shoot it from 3-point range. So, that is my thoughts. Love his game. Y'all go check him out. All that huddle and all that stuff will be linked below. But great game. All right, now we're going to react to some of the lists that came out actually this past week for 247 4-on-3. So I do want to kind of take a look at that. There is new five-star prospects all over the country. So they have Bryce Underwood at number 1, who is committed to who's from Michigan, committed to LSU. David Sanders of North Carolina, he's still going through his recruitment. Devin Sanchez of Ohio, of Texas, committed to Ohio State. Decorian Moore of Texas, committed to LSU. Then you have Naeem Alford from Alabama, he's committed to Ohio State. Tavian St. Clair, he was the biggest riser from what I've seen. Went, from number 48 all the way up to number 6. I think they have him rated as the 3rd best quarterback in the country. Then you have Elijah Griffin from Georgia, Savannah Christian. I mean, what the dude was facing this past year, y'all. Double teams, sometimes even triple teams, still ended up with 17.5 sacks. So, kid's the real deal. A lot of people are predicting him to go to Georgia. I mean, you add that and a Justice Terry, I mean, just off the charts on your defensive line. Then you had DJ Pickett from Florida, still going through his recruitment. It's supposed to kind of narrow it down here pretty soon. Then you have Zayden Walker, who's committed to Georgia from Schley County. I think it's going to be interesting to see the role he plays, you know, especially on the next level. Right now, he's linebacker. You might see him play as an outside linebacker / edge on the next level. You have George McIntyre, who's committed to Tennessee. He's also from Tennessee. Khalil Lockett from Texas. Jonah Williams from Texas as well. Then you obviously have Justice Terry. Athleticism just jumps off the charts. Magnificent player from Manchester, man. I know Georgia fans are very excited. And like I said on most of my podcasts and the day shows I do with Craig as well, I just think he's the next great guy that they're going to have at D-tackle. Kind of reminds me of a Jalen Carter, that next good defensive tackle coming up the ranks, man. He's that special. Then you had Josh Petty at 14, offensive lineman, very high on a lot of people's boards. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes. I know it's a lot of teams that want him. I know Clemson's in there, Georgia Tech's in there. A lot of ACC schools really want his services, and it's good to see him on this list as well. Then you had Andrew Babaloa from Kansas. He's on this list as 5 stars, and also Julian Lewis from Carrollton, you know, currently the USC commit. So those were some of the newly minted 5 stars, including some guys from Southeast, including guys from all over as well. But I want to also talk about some of the newcomers that were on this list that made it for them this past year. So Tae Harris was one from Cedartown, was rated as a 4-star player, a safety, number 125 in the country. What he's been able to do is very, very special down there at Cedartown. You know, they're a good crop of talent that comes from there, Nick Chubbs of the world. And it's no easy billing when you have guys like that has come through the program and has put it on the map. But Tae Harris is really good. He was previously committed to Georgia, but reopened his recruitment. I know South Carolina is very high on him. Clemson's another one. Throwing a couple of schools you said, Ole Miss. I know Tech is up there as well. But nice to see him on this list as a top 125 player nationally as well. Now, Dalen Pinson, I'm not going to lie. I got to do my research on him, but he made this list as well. Number 137 in the country, cornerback from Sandy Creek. But I know Sandy Creek got some dogs. If you look at their top three, got Amari Latimer in 2026, Evan Harvey in 2026. But they also got this kid, Dalen Pinson, who people are very high on, 4-star type player from Sandy Creek. So going to do some more research on him, but he's very, very highly rated. He just made their list as well. I'm seeing if I see any more Georgia players. I think that was the main ones as well on that list for them that were newcomers on the list from Georgia. I don't really see any more. All right, so we will leave that there. Also got to react to On 3's latest list as well. They just dropped one. So 5 stars. Looks a little bit different. As you know, 247 does 32. I think On 3 is about around the same one. But what's so cool about On 3, they look at all 4 major services. Their own, Rivals, 247, and ESPN. Those are the ones they look at when they're doing and kind of getting the whole kind of synopsis of the whole rating system. But some guys that made their 5-star list, as we talked about earlier, Julian Lewis of Carrollton, Justice Terry was another one. Let's see. And also Josh Petty. So those were some of the top guys. I think it was cool, too, and Max did a really great story on it. You go to scoretl.com, just the 5 stars that were listed, 247. So it was like 5 guys. And what's so cool is almost all 5 of them can end up at Georgia. So that goes to show the recruiting job that Kirby Smart is doing in his own state, being able to keep the talent here. A lot of times you see guys, like if you go to Florida, you see sometimes the schools like Miami, Florida, like they're struggling to keep their in-state talent at home. Like Georgia's doing a magnificent job, and then they can land all 5 of those guys. Josh Petty's, Justice Terry, the Elijah Griffins, the Julian Lewises of the world, possibly even Travis Smith, who's going up very, very high on boards. I mean, you get a 5 like that. I mean, that leads to dominance. That's how Alabama was able to do what they did for so long. So if Georgia can continue to recruit in-state like that, I mean, they're going to be tough. Obviously, going to be a contender next year. But landing that for your 25 class for the next, 3-4 years at your arsenal, you got to like your chances. So they are very high, and I heard that, there is some rumors that Julian Lewis is high on Georgia as well, and possibly could be seeing, maybe, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but potentially a flip in the future. But we will see. Nonetheless, it's going to be very, very exciting to watch. But that is their new 5-star list of Georgia players that made it. Obviously, at 1, everybody has Bryce Underwood of Michigan, David Sanders, Providence Day, and Charlotte, Decorian Moore, and then Elijah Griffin. So those are from some of the lists, some top guys all over the country. A lot of Georgia players on the list. Obviously, you guys know this is the top state for football talent. So it's going to be a lot of fun watching these guys this past year. So those were the newest rankings. Y'all can go to 247 on 3 to go look at them. It'll be a lot of fun to see how it pans out. All right. Now I want to talk a little bit about basketball and then talk about lacrosse before we go to our next break. I want to break down the Riverwood and Alexander matchup that is tomorrow. I cannot wait. I put it up there. If I had to say matches I'm most excited for, probably Grayson McEachern and then this one, Riverwood Alexander. We'll talk about the other one later. But things going to be interesting. I start with the front court matchup. I start with Jackson Davis, who does a lot of dirty work. We had their coach on last week from Riverwood, and he rebounds the basketball. He plays at a high level. He defends. He blocks shots. He keeps opportunities alive on the offensive end. And they're going to have to go up against Braden Liu. Now, Coach Jenkins is a phenomenal coach. I can't wait to see the defense adjustments he makes, because when you playing against a defender like that or an opponent like that, that's a Braden Liu who's going to Kennesaw State, you have to be able to throw different defensive coverages at him. You can't just do one. You can't play one-on-one the whole game. You got to throw some zone in there, some 3-2, some 2-3, some 1-4 zone, some full court traps, some pressure, some half-court traps. So I think it's going to be interesting to see, but expect him to get a lot of the defensive attention in this matchup, and I can't wait to see how they're able to come on top and what's their kind of game plan defensively for him. That's going to be interesting because Lou is so good, averaging 18 points a game. He could get those defenders in a lot of foul trouble early on, and that does not bode well in the championship game especially. And he's already over 1,400 plus points in his career. He's been in double figures basically in every game this postseason. And he's just a problem. Like, Lou is a problem. At 6'7", 6'8", he is hard to defend. So I can't wait to see what they kind of got to match up against him. And then also Greg Dunson, as a sophomore, he's been doing really good this year, facilitating and scoring the basketball up to about 14 points per game. He's been doing his thing. He can facilitate real well and orchestrate the offense. So he's going to have his hands full as well. And I kind of want to see the battle of attrition in this game. How is that going to be? Because on the other side of things, got two prolific scorers, probably the best in the state, in J.R. Leonard and obviously Karis Bilal. Again, if you guys want to go check out that interview from last week, go check it out. Get a little bit of synopsis of what that team is, what they can do, and how they're going to look tomorrow night. But I think that bodes in their flavor. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going with an upset. I'm going with Riverwood to come out on top in this game. I like Alexander. They have a great team, great coach in Jason Slate. Really good backcourt as well. But I think, man, when you have the luxury and you have two prolific scorers who's going to covet all the defensive attention, and then you got a guy that can serve it up on the platter and Jesse Graves and other guys that can step up and shoot those shots, it's going to be very, very difficult. Now, obviously, they got their hands full with Braden Liu, who's a problem. But I think when you got two guys that's going to cover a lot of defensive attention, that bodes well for you offensively. So, going this game, Riverwood just got to have a good defensive game plan. They're going to have to rebound, and I think push the pace. If you can push the pace with your two prolific scorers, like I said, Bilal's averaging about 25, almost 26 points a game. And then you got J.R. Leonard, who went out for a 51-point game in the quarterfinals, in the semis, not the semis, quarterfinals, the Sweet 16. When you have that kind of scoring, it's kind of unmatched. And I think this is the year for Riverwood. So, could be wrong. I might be coming on the show next week and be like, well, I was ended up winning, but I'm going to roll with Riverwood. I like upsets. I like, a team that's never won before winning. That happened last year with Alexander. They were winning their first ever title. They're looking to go back-to-back. But I'm rolling with Riverwood with a big upset in the state championship game. I think it's going to be one of the best ones. Obviously, it was a great one last night. I'm sure Craig's going to talk about it on this show tomorrow between Holly Innocence and North Oconee. But I think it's going to live up to that billing, man, and I can't wait to see who comes out on top. And just quick reaction to that, I'm not going to lie. I was surprised that Holly Innocence made it so far, and it's not because they're not talented, but I just thought outside of Hutcherson and outside of the five-star Caleb Wilson, who's phenomenal, top player in the country, just like, where does the other offense come? Because Wilson's going to get a lot of the defensive attention. Now, he still balled out 7 to 12 for most of the game, had some bad shots towards the end, but he still balled out and did what he was supposed to do. But he just needed a little bit more help, in my opinion. And I thought, if you look at well-roundedness of a team, I thought that's what North Oconee was. Talked to their coach, too. Again, you can go back and watch that interview on our YouTube page. But when you have guys like a Justin Wise, who's just a freshman coming up, that went 5 for 10 in that game, and just like Craig was telling me about it, just 3 consecutive possessions just in the flow of the offense, just knocking down threes. And Coach talked about how special he is and how he was getting a little bit of run even coming in from middle school, was running with some of the guys. So that goes to show you, how special that program was, what Coach Rick Rasmussen was able to do with that program. And they just seemed like a more kind of just well-rounded team. They had, obviously Ryan Montgomery, who's really, really good. And they had Bird, who was good. They had Kamari, who was really, really good, and had the tip-in their game winner in the previous round. I just love what they were able to do. And like I said, I love the upset. Probably Holly Innocence was favored going into that game, but I love upsets. People being able to come in and win. And I think that's what it comes down to. Obviously, the stars matter, and having phenomenal talent is very, very important. But when you got a well-rounded team and you can get scoring from almost anywhere, and you got a rising freshman who's going to be on a lot, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be on a lot of boards. I expect him to be a 4, maybe even 5-star player when it's said and done and he grows into his body. And Justin Wise, when you got that coming back and the experience of winning the state championship, that bodes well for you. And shout out to North Oconee and their administration for hiring Coach Rick. I mean, came over from Newton, had a lot of success there, and now he comes over and delivers a state championship, delivering on that promise, man. So special, special shout out to the North Oconee Titans on winning the state championship against a very, very good and talented Holly Innocence team. So that's my thoughts on that. Now we got to recap, or actually talk about the best matchups this week in lacrosse. I think it's some pretty good ones. Craig, I'm sure you'll like this one, but your Walton Raiders are 8-1 in lacrosse. They're doing their thing. They're going to play West Forsyth this upcoming weekend, actually tomorrow. So 2 of the best teams in 7A. I have Walton as the number 4 team in the 7A rankings. It's a great matchup. I still have West Forsyth 1. Only loss this season for West Forsyth was to Blessed Trinity, which was 9-8, and ironically enough, Walton actually beat Blessed Trinity 8-7. So think it's going to be an intriguing matchup. Both teams have impressive resumes, really great players. West Forsyth, you want to watch out for Jake Sander. He's an Alabama Huntsville commit. Also, Lucas Prink, who's also going to Alabama Huntsville. James Davison of Mercer, and then Will Zylstra going also to Mercer with him. So those are the guys you want to watch for West Forsyth. As you guys all know, Fire were able to kind of get over the hump last year. They're doing it again this year. Won the state championship. Fire was able to beat Lambert twice in one season, and I think they're right back here up top. It's going to be a big-time game, I think, for both teams. Walton, I think, is also a contender this year. And I think they got really good midfield play, especially with Carl Dagner, who's committed to Georgia Tech. He's been having a stellar season. Also have Gray Casey and Ryan Guardian as well. So two really good guys. And I think it's going to be an intriguing game tomorrow night. Definitely going to have a lot to say in the rankings. Like I said, a top 5 matchup according to Score ATL poll. And I can't wait to see who comes out on top. Walton looks like they are the team to beat this year. But I'm going to roll with West Forsyth, give them the edge, state championship pedigree, what their coach has been doing. I give them just a slight edge. But I think it's going to be an incredible game. So that's the top one to watch. Also got to go throw out there River Ridge and George Walton Academy. Both teams are undefeated. River Ridge has been having a very surprising season. I have them rated very high. I think they cracked the top 5 this past week. But I like their attacking. Got to look out for Ryder Russell. He's been having a good season, currently committed to Montevallo. And then River Ridge has had a really impressive slate to the season, right? First 6 games, they scored 14 goals in each game. Now, scoring's come down a little bit. Scored 10 and 8 in the last 2 games, but I like how they can score. I like how they can put up a lot of points on the board as well. So that's something to watch for. And then George Walton with a very, very impressive win. They're not in the GHSA, but they were able to beat Hebron Christian, who's high in that poll, that 1 through 4A poll. Beat them 10-9 in overtime. Their freshman, A.J. Dillard, has been impressive this season. He finished the game with 6 goals and an assist. And also, Will Ferguson had 2 goals and 2 assists. And that freshman is averaging 4 goals a game. So he's been doing this thing. And defensively, they also have been very good. Robbie Perkins has an efficient save percentage of 88% so far this year. So shout out to them. That should be another good game. River Ridge versus George Walton Academy. Now, the last one I think is also intriguing. It's going to be Alpharetta versus Cambridge. Alpharetta's top players, Charlie Morrison, averaging about 3 goals per game. Connor Corkill with 2.7 per game. And then Cohen Rose with 2.4. And then Morrison, what's so impressive about him is that he's not just doing this scoring, he's being an elite playmaker. Kind of when you see on a basketball court, right, you see a guy that can score it, and you see a guy that can set up his teammates and get big assists. He's doing the same exact thing, so far this season. In addition to the 20 goals he also has 23 assists. So he has more assists than goals this year. So he's been doing his thing. He's been dynamic all season long. And Alpharetta's only loss was to West Forsyth. And that was the first time this season they did not score in double figures. So that shows you how for real West Forsyth is. So we'll be interested. And Cambridge, kind of going through a little rough patch. They've been facing some elite competition. 2-2 in their last 4 games, but they had to go up against Lambert and Blessed Trinity. So they're going to get another big test against Alpharetta. Let's see if they can come out on top. We'll get a chance to prove their worth against a really, really good team. On their side of things, watch out for Jacob Fusco on the defensive side of the ball. He's been good so far this year. He's committed to Richmond. And then last thing for Cambridge, they've hit double figures in 6 of their 7 games this year. So also a really, really good offense. So 2 pretty good offenses out there in 5A, 6A, excuse me. We'll be interested to see who comes out on top. But that's going to conclude this segment. Got one more segment to close us out the show. We're going to thank our sponsor. Be back on the other side.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Hey, does it matter if this leaks?
It don't matter to me. Can't see it from my house.
Illegal use of hands, improper training.
GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com has 14 different highly skilled trades with tuition-free training in our certified apprenticeship programs to train you the right way. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. Top 10 headlines for the weekend presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. One of my favorite segments as well. I kind of gave them a shout out earlier, but going to give them one more good shout out to kind of start us off. Shout outs again to North Oconee, what they were able to kind of accomplish this past season. I thought was a really, really good thing. Special shout out to them. Like I said, winning the state championship, being able to do good things as well. Kamari Brooks, like I said, scored 14 points, added 6 rebounds as well in this game. Well-coached team, great program. Special shout out to them. Bert Carter dropped 20 points and 6 boards in that championship game, so he was absolutely phenomenal. So special shout out to them. All right, number 2, Rise Hoops Tip-Off Classic. It'll be this March 29th through the 30th. A great event, good exposure for players that is played in the event. They usually play at Lake Point in Cartersville, so just a good, over the AAU circuit in March. As you guys know, the season's concluding. Just a great event for, players to kind of put themselves out there, get on the platform, get exposure, get on social media, get it out to coaches. Great platform, so check out for that. That would be a lot of fun as well. All right. So number 3, as you guys know, it is high school baseball season. So it's top performances from this past week. For hitters, Cade Brown yet again doing very, very impressive things. He went 10 for 13 with 2 homers, 7 RBIs, and 7 stolen bases. You have Eli Hannon of Great Atlanta Christian. He went 3 for 3 this past week, 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. And you have Bailey Thorne of Calvary Christian. He went 7 for 11 with 4 homers and 9 RBIs. Logan Batchelor of Jenkins, they went 2-0 in the stretch. He went 5 for 7 with 9 RBIs and also a triple. You have Marquise Bush of Jenkins. He had 4 hits and 9 stolen bases in the 3-game span. Noah Jordy of Kings Academy went 4 for 6 with 2 homers, a double, and 2 steals, and also 6 RBIs in 2 games this past week. And then last but not least, Braylon Kent of Walker, 5 for 11 last week, .455 average with 3 runs scored, a double, 3 walks, 4 RBIs, and 3 stolen bases. So special shout out to him as well. All right, and then number 4, gotta give a special shout out. We talked about him earlier, but Tae Harris, man, he set one of the fastest 40 times in the Under Armour Camp in Miami this past week. Set it with a 4.38, only a tenth of a second behind Harlem Berry's 4.37 mark last June. Again, this is a high school athlete running those type of numbers. These are numbers you see for NFL athletes, so that is very special. It goes to show you the kind of speed he has. And again, it's not a regular stopwatch. These are lasers. Whenever you go to Under Armour, they are laser tests. So I think that was special as well for him. And he's a very, very as you see, made the list of 4 stars for Cedar Town this past year. So that was special. 4.38 time. I thought was pretty cool. All right, then you had number 5, Henry County Senior All-Star Game this past week. Will be next Friday at 5:30 p.m. Here are the players who made the list. Let's see really quick. All right, so the All-Star Game will officially be March 15th, so next Friday at 5:30 p.m. at McDonough High School. Will be several programs all around, but players that made it: Kylan Moreo of McDonough, Chris Morris of Eagles Landing, Clark Maston of Eagles Landing as well, Braylon Lemon of Luella, Mason Lewis of Woodland, Maxwell Young of Locust Grove, Ty Scott of Locust Grove, Milani Smith of Luella, and Najeh Lewis of Ola, Janique Trinidad of McDonough, Skylar Patton of Union Grove, Lauren Peen of Union Grove, Naylor Franklin of Union Grove, and then Oluchi Eiley of Woodland as well. So those are the players that made the list. Special shout out to them. That will be next Friday at 5:30. All right. So now we talked about top baseball hitting performances from this week. Let's talk about the top pitcher performances. 7 candidates under the vote right now. So right now we got Jamie Whittier of Centennial. He had 17, set a school record, 17 strikeouts and a win over Northview. He had Will Allen of Houston County. He had a dominant performance in the perfect game showcase. Threw a complete game with 11 strikeouts, and the fastball got up to 92 miles per hour. So that's getting it done. As guys all know, Houston County has one of the best baseball teams in the state, and for good reason. There was Connor McAllister of South Forsyth. He picked up a win in 6 innings, striking out 10 batters and allowed 0 runs in that effort. Charlie Foster of Brookwood dominated 5 innings, no hits allowed, struck out 13 batters. And then you have Chandler Thiel of River Ridge. Thiel threw 5 shutout innings in a win over Creekview and struck out 8 batters. And then you have Logan Gross of Alatoona. He shut out Woodstock, only had 1 hit in 5 innings and struck out 7 batters during that time. And the last one, Curtis Mayer of Denmark. He went 5 shutout innings on a win against North Springs, struck out 9 batters and only allowed 1 hit. So special performance for him as well. All right, then next, got to give some love to Ezra Moore. As you guys all know, Roswell has a very good lacrosse team. He just hit a career milestone. He surpassed 100 goals in his career this past week, so that is getting it done. The reason why they've been so good the past few years is his attacking ability. Thought that was a special kind of feat for him, for Ezra Moore, and getting over that hump of 100+ goals. Special shout out to you, man. Keep doing your thing. I thought that was super special. And then number 8, Rusty MVP camps have officially been moved. It was going to be at Milton High School, but they will be next week, next Sunday, March 17th. Trying to figure out the date. March 17th will actually be held at Kings Ridge School in Alpharetta. The address 2765 Bethany Bend in Alpharetta, Georgia. I'm sure media will be there. If you want to go, shoot him a DM on Twitter at Rusty Manziel as well. But wanted to give him a shout out, one of our partners here in the state. What he does is great and amazing for the kids. But I think it should kick off early in the morning if you did get invited. But media outlets, if you want to go, definitely go shoot him a DM. If you're thinking about possibly attending. March 17th, Kings Ridge Christian School in Alpharetta. So special shout out to 6'9" time, looks like in the 100-meter dash. So special shout out to him. And in the 200-meter dash, he's at also a personal record, 21.76. And why is that important? As a sophomore this year, he was elite at Benedictine, obviously with the great quarterback Luke Kromenhawk. But this past year led his team in every receiving category, 53 catches, 753 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And he showed that he's an elite athlete, not just receiving, but also rushing. 316 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns this past year. So seeing those kind of times shows you the speed that he has. Can't wait to see what he looks like next year. Obviously, Benedictine will have a new quarterback at the helm. But when you got a special athlete like Chris Frazier, that goes to show you, you got to feel comfortable kind of coming in and having that kind of guy you can just throw the ball to, let him do his thing, and he's going to dominate and be great. So he's going to be one to watch for next year in the 26 class. I know we got some top receivers, Aaron Gregory, obviously Devin Carter, but he's going to be one to watch for Benedictine next year. I expect those numbers to get well over 1,000+ yards, and I think he's going to be around about 8 to 10 touchdowns next year. So that should be very, very interesting. All right, number 10 to conclude us out. I got to see it. And get my hands ready, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, and I'm not going to lie. I'm actually excited for this too. Game he is covering on Saturday night will be one of the best games he has seen in a long time, okay? You got NBA talent on that floor, not just Ace. You got NBA talent also with Jakari Harris, okay? It is going to be super special to watch that game, I'm telling y'all. So if you have nothing you're doing on Saturday, unfortunately, they are not streamed. But, this is crazy to say, but get the one-day subscription. You get it for a month, $11.99, NFHS Network. Get the subscription. I'm sure it's going to be streamed maybe on somewhere else, maybe SUV TV. Go watch that game. I'm telling y'all. When you look at it, got Ace Bailey on McEachern. You got Jay Nash, and also you got, make sure I get his name right, Nadanzi Oriyemba. Now, what Oriyemba can do is, in his number 30 for McEachern, does a little bit of everything, right? He can defend at a high level. He can get rebounds. He can push the pace. Just a good all-around player. Always guards up against the best defenders or the best opponents' players on the other end. It's be interesting to see what he's able to do in that game. Then you got Jay Nash, orchestrator, distributor of the offense, can score it at a high clip. Really good from mid-range. Good at finishing around the rim through contact and things like that. And then, obviously, got one of the best high school players you may have ever seen, and that's Ace Bailey, right? Now, what's so special about his game is that he don't need a lot of dribbles to be successful, right? When you look at him, there's one game he had this past year. He had 6 dribbles the whole game and put up a 35-piece. So that shows you how talented and special he is. Also doesn't need a lot of space. I've seen several clips this year where 2-3 defenders on him, and he just rises up, shoots it, with ease, with no problem at all. So my question going into this game is, what is going to be the game plan for Grayson, right? Phenomenal coaching, Coach Jeffrey Pierce. We've had him on the show several times. But, again, Ace is not a player you can do one defensive coverage against, right? You got to throw different things at him. You know, can't just be one player. Can't just be Amir Taylor. Can't be just Anthony Austin. Has to be a whole collective effort. So that's my question to them. And I think, I'm not saying they're going to hold or contain them, but if they can kind of have them simmer around 25, 20 points in that game, not a 30 or 40 piece, you got to feel pretty good. If I'm going into that game with Grayson, make somebody else beat me, not Ace, right? Let somebody else beat me. And, you know, if you're McEachern, you got probably one of the best starting fives in the state, right? Tae Harris, Amir Taylor, Anthony Austin, C.J. Highland, and Jacob Wilkins. Now, if you guys don't know who Jacob Wilkins is, he's the son of Dominique Wilkins. So he can do a lot of things well. He can really hoop, finish around the rim, create opportunities. He can do a lot of different things at the helm. So for Grayson, I think you just got to play your game. They already played earlier this year. You got the win. You were able to come out on top. They got a 79-62 victory. It was one of the heavily most sought-after games to start the year, probably in a long time. They both played national schedules. So, Grayson, you already kind of know what they look like. McEachern knows what they look like. But I think it's going to be a good back-and-forth game. I'm expecting a closer matchup, a lot on the line. And I love that we are in high school where we can still get these type of matchups, right? And I think all year in the polls, I think Craig does the boys polls, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure he's had Grayson at number 1 the whole time. McEachern pretty high up there, too. So, this is the matchup I've been salivating over all year long. I was like, man, I would love to see this in the national championship or in the state championship game. We're getting it, so I'm definitely going to be plugged to the TV. And I'm telling y'all, expect a close game between these two. Expect C.J. Highland, who slept on a little bit, Western Carolina commit. He can push tempo, can push pace, get it, finish around the rim, can shoot it very, very well. Tae Harris is a problem, how he can get in between different spots. Doesn't do too much, plays very efficiently through the offense. Purdue commit. It's just so much great talent. I'm telling you guys, there's NBA talent on that court besides Ace. Jakari definitely is another one of those guys. I think Jacob Wilkins and Amir Taylor, who slept on as well at the big man position, who can rebound very, very well and finish around the basket. This is going to be an electric matchup, y'all. And like I said, not doing nothing on Saturday, go ahead and just prop your feet up, man. Just prop your feet up, right? Go get you some popcorn, you know what I'm saying? Go to the store, get you your snacks, get ready, prop your feet up. You're going to be in store for a phenomenal, phenomenal game, man. This is one of the ones that you want to see. Can't see in person, definitely watch it on NFHS or on TV where it's streaming at. This is much-watched TV, and I'm telling you guys, I'm going to make a bold statement to wrap us up for today. It's going to be the best state championship game that we have seen, I'll make it bold, in the last decade. Mark it, you heard it right here. Best championship game we've seen in over a decade. You will see it on Saturday night. Why? And why both of those teams are going to be elite, and why it's going to be such a great game between some really good opponents and some star-studded talent. But that's all I got for today. Craig will be back with the show for tomorrow at 12 at noon, streaming on NFHS and also on YouTube. That's all I got. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy Friday Eve, and I will see you soon. Peace.